one of the responses to this bogus continuing emergency enacted by unconstitutional executive order is the earlier mentioned FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. This monstrosity of a government agency was birthed, like Rex 84, as a glimmer in the eye of then California Governor Ronald Reagan in that halcyon year of 1969. That was when Reagan inaugurated a plan to train community leaders and others in the imperial favor in techniques for handling an unruly populace, many of whom had long hair and beards. That's from a conspiracy classic, Black Helicopters Over America, Strike Force for the New World Order by Jim Keith, one of the great, the late great conspiracy researchers. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. You know, President Obama gave another news conference yesterday and he talked about his supposed health care reform. He talked about a new program for energy, which translates to me to giant increases in taxes on all forms of fossil fuel use in this country, and that means that not only are we going to pay higher prices for gas for our vehicles, we are also going to pay higher price for electricity for our homes. We're going to pay higher prices for heating oil. We're going to pay higher prices for natural gas, all because huge taxes are going to be levied on energy production in this country to fuel the so-called clean energy revolution that he wants to enact. You know, he also talked about Iran, and you know, I just have this to say about Iran. Again, I would love to think that we're looking at a spontaneous revolution of people who have become fed up with a system of governance that is based on theocracy, because theocracy, in my view, is something that should not be a form of government that anybody would want to live under. There is certainly a place for religion in people's lives if that's what they want. If that is if faith is something that is important to them, then certainly there is a place for that in their lives. But I'm of the firm belief that government should not be entwined with religion, because all that ever does is produce problems, and from very minor to incredibly huge. And I would say that when you have theocratic institutions, you inevitably have a situation where there is a great amount of repression. And that is the situation in Iran, just like it would be in any place with a similar theocratic institution in power. As I said, I would like to believe that this is a spontaneous protest coming out of people's willingness and desire to change the situation in Iran, but I cannot help but feel that what we're looking at is the product of manipulation. And I know that Obama has skirted around this issue of trying to say anything, you know, with any kind of backbone or force, which I don't know whether that's good or bad, you know. On that particular issue, I don't have a particular comment, but I cannot deny the fact that Bush and probably earlier presidents had authorized the incursion into Iran because we're looking to destabilize the regime. We're looking to take them out of the picture. We're looking to stop their supposed nuclear program, to keep them from getting the bomb. All this at the behest of Israel, because supposedly Iran wants to wipe Israel off the map, according to Ahmadinejad. Now, I would like to believe that the people are just spontaneously doing what they're doing, but I have the feeling that instead what we're looking at is the end product of a psyops. something that has been instigated by the United States administrations. Now, a lot of people who believe that might think, well, that's to be laid at the feet of the people who came before Obama, because Lord knows Obama supporters don't want to think that he had anything to do with anything that ever happened ever in the history of the world that was bad. Everything that he does is good. But the fact remains that he's the president now, and if there are activities that are going on in Iran, then it would be up to him to keep them going or to stop them from happening. So if there are any covert actions going on in Iran that were authorized by previous administrations, then certainly Obama has taken the reins of those, and he is now responsible for them. It's simple as that. So if there is something going on there, if there is U.S. manipulation, then it is also Obama who is ultimately in charge of those programs now, because he's the president. So I don't discount the fact that there are now, because this is the way PSYOPs work, okay? What you have is you have a seed planted there, okay? And then it takes root with people who have the ideas that you are trying to promote. And then things start to roll. And what you end up having is what looks like a popular revolution, because people believe this story that they've been fed through the PSYOP. And I believe this is what's happening in Iran. They believe the underlying premise that was put forward, and then it starts to look more and more like a popular revolt. And that's the beauty and the horror that is PSYOPs, because there's really no way to tell what you're looking at is a genuine revolution or not, because it's designed to produce that. And that's what you end up having in the end. But you have people out there in the streets who are dying, who are being horribly beaten, who are being taken away to, undisclosed locations, because they really believe in what they're doing, when in fact they have been manipulated into doing what they're doing because of a very skilled and highly crafted psychological warfare operation that is going on in that country. Now, I can't prove that, and I'm sure if Iran could, they would. And that's another beauty of these types of things, that they very frequently leave no traces. So I would say that if anything good were to come out of this, I'd be very surprised. In fact, I think that what we're going to see is a continued and more deadly crackdown, and eventually we're going to have something akin to what happened in China with Tiananmen Square. And ultimately, in the end, I think that the leaders in Iran now, the mullahs, are going to remain in power, and there is going to be a tremendous withering of human rights in that country as a result of this uprising. So two things for today. That is, expect incredibly higher prices for every type of energy you consume, because this is the answer for everything. Tax everybody to death. And so prepare for that, because it's coming in the so-called green revolution of Obama. And don't look for significant change in Iran, because the people that are in power there, theocratic regimes, they absolutely never want to give up control. And it doesn't matter what the people want, because they believe they're working for God. So I don't see anything good happening in Iran. Nothing good at all. Thank you. Good night.